What is going on, guys? For today we are checking out Duchess in Elden Ring Nightreign. This guide will serve as your ultimate companion for mastering the Duchess class. We'll break down everything you need to know, starting from the core class overview to the specific build recommendations, best armaments and the weapon passives, detailed stats and attributes, the spell choices, talismans, consumables, and finally a gameplay overview, packed with practical tips to bring your Duchess to the peak performance. Also, if you're interested in buying other PC or console games with 50 or 70% discount, then check out Instant Gaming. For example, I want to buy Elden Ring, so we just click on Add to Cart, then click Pay, then input our details and pay. After payment is complete, we will receive activation key, then copy and paste the key in, and it's that simple. So, what are you waiting for? Click my link in the description and check out Instant Gaming for yourself. So Duchess is a swift and elusive archetype that excels in rapid close-quarter combat, while leveraging potent status effects. Her agility and the stealth capabilities allow her to weave through the enemy defenses, delivering a devastating burst of damage before vanishing into the shadows. What sets Duchess apart is her unique blend of mobility, precision and utility, making her a formidable force on the battlefield. One of her signature abilities, the Restage, enables her to reapply recent damage and the status effects to the enemies, which amplifies her burst potential. This skill is particularly effective when used after inflicting elements like the Blood Loss or the Frostbite, allowing the Duchess to capitalize on her offensive momentum. Her passive Magnificent Pose grants her the ability to chain quick-step dodges, which again enhances her effectiveness and makes her a challenging target to pin down. This mobility is crucial for maintaining pressure on the enemies while avoiding retaliation. And rounding out her kit is the Finale Ultimate, which shrouds the Duchess and nearby allies in invisibility. This ability is super OP for initiating ambushes, repositioning during combat, or just executing strategic retreats. The synergy between these core elements will foster a playstyle that is both aggressive and tactical, rewarding players who can balance offense with precise timing and positioning. To unlock the Duchess, we must complete the Tricelos expedition, which is accessible shortly after the tutorial. By defeating the Night Lord boss during this expedition, will yield the old pocket watch item, and if you show this item to the priestesses at the roundabout hold, then it will unlock the Duchess class for all of your future endeavors. Then next up, let's take a look at the top 2 best builds. So first we have the Blood Loss Duchess build. This setup focuses on maximizing the Duchess' ability to inflict and capitalize on the blood loss by delivering high burst damage through the rapid attacks and strategic use of the Restage. In this setup, dual-wielding weapons like the Scavenger's Curved Swords is ideal, as their swift attack speed will facilitate quick blood loss buildup. Alternatively, weapons like the Rivers of the Blood or the Frozen Needle can be used to introduce additional status effects, like the Frostbite, which offers versatility in the combat. Key talismans for this build includes the Lord of the Blood's Exhaustion, which boosts attack power upon inflicting blood loss, and then the Green Turtle Talisman, enhancing stamina recovery to sustain relentless aggression. Then consumables such as the Blood Grease and the Freezing Grease can be applied to the weapons to augment their status effects, while Freezing Pass will provide crowd control options during the engagements. The main strategy behind this build revolves around building up the blood loss on the enemies, and then activating the Restage to reapply the damage for devastating burst, and then Finale can be used to reposition or disengage as needed, while maintaining the Duchess' elusive presence on the battlefield. And then second, we got the Frostbite Duchess build. For players seeking a different approach, the Frostbite Duchess build will emphasize inflicting frostbite to debilitate enemies by slowing their actions and reducing their defenses. Weapons like the Frozen Needle or any other dagger infused with the frostbite are central to this build, allowing the Duchess to apply the status effect swiftly. Combining these weapons with the spells like the Golden Vow enhances both offense and defense capabilities by providing a balanced approach to the combat. Talismans such as the Magic Scorpion Charm will increase the magic damage, and the Carian Filigree Crest will reduce the FP cost, which synergizes well with the Duchess' abilities, enabling more frequent use of the Restage and the Finale. And then for consumables, we want to go with the Freezing Grease and the Exalted Flesh to further bolster the Duchess' damage output, while Freezing Pass can disrupt enemy formation and provide control over the battlefield. The Frostbite Duchess excels at weakening enemies before delivering precise high damage strikes, making her a formidable enemy in both solo and team fights. Then next we have the best weapons and passives. When it comes to weapon selection for the Duchess, the goal is simple: trigger the Bloodlust and Frostbite as quickly and efficiently as possible. The best weapons for this playstyle are those who come with the innate bleed or the frost buildup, high dexterity scaling and fast attack speeds. Top picks include the Uchigatana, Nagakiba and the Rivers of the Blood, each offering excellent rage, speed and the status potential. The Nagakiba in particular shines thanks to the extended reach, letting you apply pressure from a safer distance. Then for dual wielding setups, pairing the two bleed weapons or combining the bleed and frost lets you stack procs rapidly. And for example, running an Uchigatana in one hand and a cold infused weapon in the other one can double your status uptime. If you prefer a more aggressive build, then using two katanas with the bleed affinity will make your blood loss proc nearly constant in group fights or against bosses with a larger health pool. As for weapon passives, focus on ones that directly support status buildup or the skill damage. The enhanced bleed buildup is essential because it increases your proc speed across the board, so boosted weapon skill damage also plays a key role. Many Duchess build will rely on active skills like the restage or the finale to finish the fight, so scaling those abilities means more consistent burst windows. Improved stamina efficiency is a strong secondary option, especially if you're using heavier weapons or dual wielding. It lets you keep attacking longer without overcommitting your stamina bar. In short, you want weapons that hit fast, bleed often and synergize well with your dexterity heavy stat spread. So stack your passives accordingly, and you will become a relentless pressure machine, cutting through the enemies before they can even react. Then next, let's take a look at the stats and the attributes. The Duchess will thrive on speed, precision and high pressure combat. Her primary stat is dexterity, which boosts both weapon scaling and attack speed, which is essential for rapidly triggering blood loss and the frostbite. Investing here is key for optimizing burst potential. Then endurance is your next focus. It fuels your stamina pool, allowing for constant dodging, attacking and mobility. It also lets you wear light but effective armor without becoming encumbrant. If you want to stay aggressive, then the stat is non-negotiable. Vigor provides a reliable HP pool. While the Duchess is not meant to trade hits often, she will need enough health to survive quick engagements and rebound with a restage or evade via the finale. Think of it as your margin for error during pressure-heavy fights. And then finally, as for strength, intelligence and fate, these are the secondary unless you're running a hybrid setup. Only minimal investment is needed to meet weapon or the spell requirements. And while we are talking about spells, let's go over them. Even though the Duchess is not a spellcaster at heart, a few chosen spells can make a huge difference. The Golden Bow is a standout. It buffs both offense and defense, which makes it ideal before boss fights. It only needs a small fate investment but pays off big in the key fights. Then the Flame Grant Me Strength is another excellent pick. By boosting physical damage and stacking with the other buffs, it helps accelerate blood loss and the frostbite procs, especially during burst windows. The key here is to use these spells strategically. They aren't part of a rotation, they are just a prep tool for key moments. With the Duchess speed and agility, she can safely create space to apply buffs without compromising her pressure-heavy style. Then next we have Talismans, which are key part of optimizing your Duchess build, and selecting the right ones can greatly enhance your effectiveness. The Lord of the Blood Exhaustion is the most essential pick. It boosts the attack power whenever the blood loss occurs, which fits perfectly into the core damage loop. Since your build revolves around triggering the bleed consistently, this talisman will stay active often, giving you a consistent bonus damage. The Green Turtle Talisman is another high value option, especially for the stamina regeneration. It helps you stay in motion, dodge frequently and maintain pressure without burning out. It pairs beautifully with the endurance focused builds. The Air Tree's favor will add survivability and equip load flexibility by increasing the max HP, stamina and the carry weight, which gives you more room to maneuver and stay alive. Lastly, the Shard of Alexandria will apply your skill damage, making the tools like the restage and finale hit even harder. It's great if you rely heavily on the ability-based bursts, or want to push your finisher window even further. Next we have Consumables. A smart use of consumables can often be the difference between victory and defeat, especially in the challenging encounters. The Blood Grease is perfect for stacking bleed effects more reliably and quickly. You want to apply it before tough encounters to get more frequent procs. Then Exalted Flesh works when you want raw damage output. It gives a short physical damage boost, making it ideal for the pre-boss prep. If you're up against tough melee enemies or need to absorb more damage in the trades, then the Boiled Crab is also an reliable option. It significantly reduces incoming physical damage without requiring any stat investment. And now finally, let's take a quick look at the Duchess gameplay. Her playstyle is all about momentum and the control. You want to stay aggressive but not reckless, using your mobility and the status effects to wear enemies down quickly. You want to open fights with a quick flurry to trigger the blood loss, then back off or use the restage to reposition before diving back in. The claw shot and similar tools should be used to either way gap close or create momentum, which will allow you to confuse and outmaneuver enemies. And once you've landed a bleed proc, push your advantage with the finale or continue the assault to keep them locked in this repeating loop. Always manage your stamina carefully, because if you burn too much, then you lose your edge. I recommend to consider equipping items or talismans that will help you in the region if you find yourself running dry during the longer fights. Target priority is also important, so use AoV or fast weapons to clear out mobs, then isolate stronger enemies and burst them down with a status procs. And then finally, against bosses, you want to wait for a safer opening, then apply buffs, and go all in when their guard drops. Duchess is all about knowing when to go full throttle and when to reset. So let me know what you think about Duchess and her build in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then you definitely don't want to miss my previous video where I showed the best classes, top 5 most broken builds, and much more. So click the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.